A reckoning at the gas station. Under the flickering neon of a dilapidated gas station in a small Ohio town, the night air crackled with tension. Blood trickled from Sarah Thompson's shoulder, each drop a silent scream against the cracked pavement. A white police officer, Officer Daniel Hayes, stood with his pistol drawn, barking orders as if he owned the night. He didn't know that just steps away, hidden in the shadows, stood James Thompson, Sarah's older brother, a seasoned Delta Force commander with a gaze as cold as steel. The officer's mistake wasn't just pointing a gun at Sarah, it was underestimating the storm about to descend. This wasn't just a moment, it was the spark of a reckoning that would shake the town, the police department, and the very soul of a community demanding justice. Sarah and James had grown up in the rough edges of Dayton, where gunshots echoed like a grim lullaby. Their bond was forged in those hard years. Sarah, with her fierce compassion, dreamed of becoming a lawyer to fight for the voiceless, while James, reading military manuals under streetlights, vowed to protect her. Now, at 52, Sarah was a community organizer, her voice a beacon for equality. James, 56, had seen battlefields across the globe, his Delta Force training making him a silent predator. That night, they'd stopped at the gas station for a quick coffee before dinner, unaware it would become a battleground. The officer's shout sliced through the humid air. "Get down, Nell." His gun wavered dangerously close to Sarah, who clutched her bleeding shoulder, her denim shirt soaked crimson. James stood a few feet away, his calm a stark contrast to the chaos. His mind raced, years of training screamed restraint, but his heart roared with rage. Sarah's eyes met his, a silent plea wrapped in courage. "Just like old times, huh?" she whispered, her voice trembling but defiant. James forced a breath, his jaw tight. This wasn't a war zone, but it felt like one. The officer, emboldened by his badge, misread James's stillness for submission. "That's more like it," he sneered, oblivious to the lethal force he faced. His partner, Officer Mark Reynolds, lingered back, nervous, his hand twitching on his holster. Bystanders gathered, some filming, their phones capturing the unfolding drama. Then, a deafening crack shattered the night. A gunshot. Sarah staggered, a raw cry escaping her lips as fresh blood bloomed on her shirt. The crowd gasped, and James moved like lightning. Before the echo faded, James was at Sarah's side, his hand steady despite the fury boiling within. "Stay with me, Sarah," he said, his voice a lifeline. The officer stepped back, shock flickering across his face, while his partner's eyes widened with dread. James ripped open his jacket, revealing the Delta Force patch on his shirt, a symbol of lethal precision. The air shifted, the officer's bravado crumbling. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" James's words were a blade, cutting through their authority. The crowd's murmurs grew louder, phones still recording, ensuring this moment wouldn't vanish into the night. James demanded an ambulance, his tone icy but controlled. The second officer fumbled for his radio, stammering for backup. Sarah squeezed James's hand, her breath shallow. "I'm okay. I promise," she murmured, her courage fueling his resolve. Sirens wailed in the distance, and as paramedics arrived, James stayed by Sarah's side, his presence a shield. The officers, now under scrutiny, exchanged uneasy glances. This wasn't just a mistake, it was a fracture in their world, one that would demand answers. At the hospital, Sarah was stabilized, her spirit unbroken despite the pain. James paced the sterile corridor, his mind a battlefield of strategy and anguish. He called Laura Bennett, a civil rights lawyer known for dismantling systemic corruption. "Sarah's been shot by a cop," he said, his voice clipped. "Wrong assumptions, wrong actions. We need to make this right." Laura's response was sharp. "I'm on it. We'll secure evidence, testimonies, videos. This won't be buried." Together, they began building a case, a tactical unit against injustice. News of the shooting spread like wildfire through Dayton. The community, weary of familiar tragedies, rallied around Sarah. At a local community center, James stood before a crowd, his voice steady but resonant. "This isn't just about Sarah," he said. "It's about every person who's faced this terror, who's been silenced. We fight together." An elder, Samuel Carter, shared stories of the 1960s civil rights marches, his words weaving past and present. "Hope finds a way when you stand united," he said, igniting the room. A young woman, inspired, vowed to organize, her voice trembling with resolve. "It's time people know we're tired of being hurt." The trial became a crucible of truth. Prosecutor Emily Harris, a formidable force, presented damning evidence. a bystander's video showing Officer Hayes' aggression, police logs revealing discrepancies, and a whistleblower's testimony exposing bias in training. Sarah took the stand, her voice steady as she recounted the terror of that night. "I thought, this isn't just about me, it's about everyone who feels their life doesn't matter," she said, her words piercing the courtroom. The defense, led by a polished attorney, argued stress and miscommunication, but their narrative crumbled under the weight of truth. Outside, the community marched, their chants of justice for Sarah echoing through Dayton streets. Murals of resilience appeared, painted by artists and children alike. Community forums, led by Sarah and James, taught legal rights, empowering residents to challenge the system. The media frenzy amplified their cause, talk shows dissecting systemic flaws, sparking heated debates. A police union representative clashed with a civil rights lawyer on air, the latter declaring, "Without visible accountability, these incidents won't stop. They'll be expected." Viewers flooded comment sections, their anger and hope colliding in real time. The trial's climax came when the jury returned. The courtroom held its breath as the foreperson spoke. "We find Officer Hayes guilty of aggravated assault and misconduct." Cheers erupted, tempered by tears. Sarah exhaled, her hand in James's, their bond a lifeline. Outside, supporters celebrated, the verdict a beacon of hope. Chief Robert Sullivan, under pressure, announced reforms: independent oversight, stronger misconduct penalties, and bias training. "We'll be the guardians you deserve," he pledged, his words a fragile promise under scrutiny. Months later, Sarah, now healing, and James stood in a park, a mural of a phoenix rising behind them, symbolizing renewal. Their forums had grown, connecting communities nationwide. At a national conference, they shared their story, inspiring others to act. Sarah spoke of hope, James of persistence, their voices a clarion call. Back home, schools taught equity, and street corners buzzed with dialogue. The community wasn't just healing, it was transforming, each step a testament to their fight. As they walked home under a starlit sky, Sarah linked her arm with James's. "We've planted something good," he said. "And we'll watch it grow," she replied, her voice firm. Their legacy wasn't just a verdict, it was a movement, a promise that justice, once kindled, could never be silenced. They knew the road was long, but together, with their community, they'd carved a path toward a future where no one feared the night. What do you think about the issues of violence and injustice raised in Sarah and James's story? Have you seen similar struggles in your own community? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear your perspective. Whether you believe in reform, accountability, or something else, let's keep this conversation alive. Your voice matters.